All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to you, Akim, teaching the truth and sincerity. And peace to the house of Israel that's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, that's scattered throughout all nations. All right. Today, I want to go into a simple response of Vocab Malone because he's the hot topic of this week. And how he keep putting his foot in his mouth, and he greatly erred not knowing the scriptures. And the name of this video is The Messiah Answered You 2,000 Years Ago. Vocab Malone, the Messiah answered you 2,000 years ago. All right? In 2 verses. That's good. The Messiah, Vocab Malone, the Messiah answered you 2,000 years ago with 2 verses. And I'm going to get those 2 verses because it's simple, man. It's simple. And let's get it. Matthews, the book of St. Matthews, chapter 13, verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? Now, during this time period, when the Messiah, who the world eagerly called Jesus Christ, which his true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, was on the scene, he was teaching Israel, right? Excuse me. He was teaching the multitude of Israelites, right? But the disciples, it was like, why are you speaking unto them in parables? And what does parables mean? A story or a poem, a simple story used to illustrate something that's spiritual or something that's metaphorical. All right? It says a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. Okay? So a parable is a deep, dark saying. A deep, dark saying. Something that's not literally. Okay? It's an allegory, an analogy, a metaphor. Not something to be taken literal. So the disciples wanted to know, why are you speaking unto them not straightforward? You said you came unto them, you hear it for Israel's sake. Why are you speaking unto them in figurative speech? And he answered, this is 1 verse, he answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So the apostles, the disciples who later became apostles, it was given unto them to know the mysteries that's written in this book, to understand the parables, the dark sayings, the allegories, the metaphors. But to the rest of the multitude, it is not given. That's 1 verse. The Messiah answered you over 2,000 years ago, Vocab Malone. In 1 verse. It's not given unto you. That's why. You have all these questions about the scriptures because it's not given unto you. Plain and simple. You can recite scriptures. You can pinpoint times and dates. You can quote this language and that language. But you still can't get the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. You still wrestling with the Old Testament, with the Torah. The simplicity in the Messiah. You still wrestling. All right? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you, the elect, the chosen ones. All right? The lost sheep of the house of Israel. It is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Verse 13, Therefore I speak to them in parables, because they see and see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. So if it's not meant for the multitude of our people, the Israelites, because that's who we are, that's who our identity is, that's our true nationality, Yasha Allah, he is a prince of power, okay? We're not African Americans. We're not Native Americans. We're not Cubans. We're not Mexicans. We're not Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Haitians, West Indians, Caribbean islands. We're not those people. Those are the stigmas and the proverbs and bywords our conquerors put on us. Our true biblical identity are Hebrew Israelites. All right? We are the biblical Hebrew Israelites by prophecy. We know this by prophecy. All right? Which you can digest, Mr. Vocab Malone. Okay? So it says, verse 13, because they see and they see not, hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. So the simple ones of our people, they can't get this. The multitude of our people can't get this. How much more you? How much more James Black? I mean, Dr. Black. Because there's nothing white about James White. I mean, Dr. White. His name is Dr. Black. All right? Y'all not going to get it. So it says, in them it is fulfilled in the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. And who was Isaiah around? Who was Isaiah prophesying to? Who was in Isaiah in the midst of? Who did the word of the Lord come on to speak to? That's a question for you, Mr. No Class Malone. But those two scriptures, Matthew chapter 13, verse 11, and verse 13, answered your questions. With that, I say shalom.